Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers' Bronny James makes bold statement after 24-point performance. Los Angeles Lakers rookie guard Bronny James' confidence is growing each game in the G League with the South Bay Lakers. Bronny just dropped 24 points in South Bay's 118-98 win over Valley Suns on Saturday, February 22 at UCLA Health Training Center. Following his fourth 20-point game in 6 G League regular season games, Bronny boldly declared that he'd already become a 3-level scorer. "I feel like I can score it on all 3 levels," Bronny told Clutch Points' Raj Chipalu after the win. "I'm just taking everything that's open for me." Bronny shot 10 of 16 from the field on an array of strong drives to the basket, floaters, and jumpers. He also made 4 of 6 from three-pointers in an efficient 34-minute stint. "Mainly trying to get downhill and get to the paint, draw some fouls," Bronny explained. "I can open up my jump shot. I just take what the defense gives me. I wasn't able to get all the way to the paint sometimes, so I gotta settle for the mid-range." The Lakers' 55th overall pick added 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals and 1 block in what was his most complete game since going down to the developmental league on assignment. His three-pointer with 2:54 remaining in the third quarter gave South Bay a 15-point lead. But the Suns rallied to tie the game early in the fourth quarter. Bronny responded with a personal 5-0 run to restore South Bay's lead. They pulled away for the big win that snapped their 4-game losing streak. Interestingly, their last win before this game came against the Suns on February 7, on Bronny's last G League assignment. Bronny had 28 points in South Bay's earlier 122-104 win over the Suns. Bronny learns how to be unpredictable from Luka Doncic. The rise in Bronny's confidence comes with practice and more reps in the G League. But the foundation of it comes from learning from 2 of the greatest players in the game, his father, LeBron James, and their new Lakers teammate, Luka Doncic. In the few games and practices he's had Doncic, Bronny had already picked up some stuff that he's been trying to incorporate into his game. "Just his patience and being able to be, unpredictable," Bronny told Chipalu. "That's the thing I've watched the most about him. You never know what he's going to do. I think that's the best thing I've seen so far from him. I keep trying to pick up stuff from him." Across 6 G League regular season games, Bronny averaged 22.8 points on an impressive 42.6% from the three-point line to go with 5.3 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 2.2 steals in 33.4 minutes. South Bay had a 3-3 record when Bronny suited up. LeBron teaches his son with actions over words. LeBron cherishes every opportunity he's spending with Bronny in the NBA. It's one of the reasons he said that keeps him on top of his game, despite his advanced age. "I still love the game, and I still have a lot to give to the game, to my teammates and to this league while I'm here," James told reporters after a historic second 40-point game since turning 40 in their 110-102 win over the Portland Trail Blazers on February 20. "I don't have much time left. So, while I'm here, I'll try to give what I have when I'm on the court, so why? It's the love of the game and also, too, have the opportunity now to be able to show my son how to be a professional and what this league is all about and to be along him every single day, that's a treat." LeBron would rather let his game and off-court habits do the talking. "As parents, you say all these things, and sometimes it can become annoying to your kids," James told reporters. "I'm still going to give him words of advice, but also show him by example." Luka Doncic posts photo with LeBron James before first game versus Mavericks. Luka Doncic is seemingly finally hitting his stride with the Los Angeles Lakers. After averaging only 14.7 points in his first 3 games in Lakers threads, Doncic put together his best performance yet with his new team last Saturday, as he led Los Angeles to a 123-110 road win over the Denver Nuggets. Against Nikola Jokic and company, the 25-year-old Doncic dropped 32 points on 10-for-22 shooting from the floor to go with 10 rebounds and 7 assists, including his sweet dish that led to a LeBron James dunk late in the second quarter. Doncic posted a photo of James' throwdown on social media, tagging the four-time NBA Most Valuable Player and captioning it with 3 fire emojis. Luka Doncic is loving his time with LeBron James and the Lakers. Doncic uploaded that post just before his highly anticipated meeting this Tuesday night with his former team, the Dallas Mavericks. The Slovenian superstar spent his first 6+ seasons in the NBA with the Mavs, before he was shockingly traded to LA earlier this February via a transaction that also got Anthony Davis packing his bags for Dallas. During his time with the Mavericks, Doncic won the 2018-19 Rookie of the Year honor and finished inside the top 10 of the MVP voting 5 times, while also getting 5 NBA All-Star nods and 5 All-NBA first-team selections. That's not to mention his leading the Mavericks to an NBA Finals appearance in 2024. This upcoming date between the Lakers and the Mavericks will take place at Crypto.com Arena, where the Lakers have a 19-7 record so far in the 2024-25 NBA season. Lakers could finally acquire Chris Paul and get stronger ahead of playoffs. The Los Angeles Lakers have spent years flirting with the idea of bringing Chris Paul to Hollywood, but the timing has never quite worked out. Now, with the San Antonio Spurs shifting gears after a devastating setback to Victor Wembanyama, the door might finally be open for CP3 to don the purple and gold. San Antonio made a bold move by acquiring De'Aaron Fox before the trade deadline, signaling their intent to become a legitimate playoff team. But with Victor Wembanyama now shut down for the season due to blood clots in his shoulder, the Spurs suddenly find themselves in an awkward position. Too talented to tank naturally but not competitive enough to make a real playoff push without their franchise star. That makes Paul, who was brought in as part of the Fox deal, a prime buyout candidate. The 12-time All-Star no longer fits the Spurs timeline, and if he becomes available, the Lakers should waste no time making a move. Paul has been linked to the Lakers for over a decade, dating back to the infamous vetoed trade in 2011. Now, at 39 years old, he may not be the superstar he once was, but he remains an elite floor general with invaluable playoff experience. Adding him alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic would give the Lakers another high-IQ playmaker, stabilizing their offense while setting the stage for one last super team run. With the Western Conference wide open beyond the dominant OKC Thunder and possibly the Denver Nuggets, this could be the move that finally makes the Lakers true contenders again. Let's dive into why this works out for all parties involved. Chris Paul finally becomes a Los Angeles Laker. It took over a decade, but Chris Paul might finally get his shot to wear the purple and gold. The future Hall of Famer was nearly a Laker in 2011 before David Stern infamously vetoed the deal, and since then, CP3 has remained one of the biggest what-ifs in franchise history. There were even countless banana boat mock ideas that would see LeBron James pair with close friend Chris Paul when the King first came to the Lakers. Now, after bouncing around the league in the twilight of his career, Paul might find himself in LA through the buyout market. With the Spurs now shifting focus after Victor Wembanyama's injury, they have little reason to keep a veteran like Paul on the books, $10,460,000 in 2024-25, making a buyout feel inevitable. If that happens, the Lakers should pounce. Even at 39, Paul remains an elite playmaker, averaging 8.0 assists per game this season while recently passing Jason Kidd for second all-time in assists and steals. Paul, 9.0 points, 3.9 rebounds, 35.33 PT%, won't be the All-NBA version of himself, but he doesn't have to be. His job would be to set the table, control the tempo, and take pressure off LeBron James and Luka Doncic, both of whom will shoulder much of the offensive load this season. With Jackson Hayes and Alex Len as the team's current lob threats, CP3's arrival would instantly elevate the Lakers' pick-and-roll attack. The biggest question will be durability. Paul has battled injuries in almost every postseason run of his career, and asking him to play major minutes deep into the playoffs is a risk. But in a limited role with LeBron and AD taking the lead, he can maximize his impact while minimizing his workload. The Lakers don't need Paul to be their savior, they just need him to be the missing piece that elevates them from good to great. San Antonio Spurs tank the season until Wemby returns. The Spurs entered the season hoping to take a step forward with Victor Wembanyama leading the charge. They even doubled down on that idea at the trade deadline by acquiring De'Aaron Fox, a legitimate star point guard to help Wemby develop and win games. But with the devastating news that Wembanyama is out for the season due to blood clots in his shoulder, San Antonio's entire trajectory has changed overnight. Instead of making a playoff push, their best bet now is to lean into the tank and set themselves up for the future. With Fox locked in as their long-term point guard, there's no reason for the Spurs to keep Paul on the roster. CP3 was never a part of their plans beyond this season, and his presence only takes developmental minutes away from younger players. Cutting ties allows the Spurs to prioritize their future while doing right by a veteran who still has title aspirations. More importantly, offloading Paul helps them rack up losses, which is now the smartest strategy with Wemby sidelined. A top draft pick in 2025 could add another foundational piece next to Fox and Wembanyama, making the Spurs even more dangerous when their generational big man returns. It's an unfortunate turn of events for San Antonio, but not a disastrous one. Wemby's long-term health is the biggest priority, and while losing him hurts now, the Spurs are still in an enviable position moving forward. Lakers start piling big names to go for a title. The Lakers have never been shy about chasing big names, and adding Chris Paul could be another step to forming a super team after the biggest trade in NBA history that brought them five-time All-Star Luka Doncic. The franchise knows that LeBron James' career is closing fast, and if they're going all in on one last title push, they need some big names to accompany him and the brilliant Doncic. Rob Pelinka has already shown a willingness to shake things up mid-season. Cutting Christian Wood to sign Alex Len was a clear sign that they're retooling on the fly. If Paul joins the mix, don't be surprised if the Lakers continue making moves to add even more firepower. Time is running out for LeBron to be part of a championship side, so the Lakers can maximize his presence before the full rebuild around Luka begins. They're currently in the thick of the Western Conference playoff race with the fourth seed, 34-21, but standing pat isn't an option. If the franchise wants to give James a legitimate shot at title number 5 while also showing Luka that they can make big moves to keep him satisfied for the rest of his career, adding Paul is a step in the right direction, and it could be a missing piece for them this season as the lineup becomes complete. A starting lineup of Chris Paul, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura would be excellent in a small ball scenario, but JJ Redick could even opt to bring Paul off the bench to give James and Doncic a break with handling the ball. With Paul, the Lakers can gear up for a deep playoff run with plenty of experienced leaders. Thank you for being a valued reader of Fadeaway World. If you liked this article, please consider following us on Google News. We appreciate your support. And are you a fan? What do you think of Matthew Stafford's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.